everyone's doing well today. Thank you for joining us for another Tennessee's at Home Learning series for math. Today's lesson is for all of our second graders out there, though all children are welcome to tune in. This lesson is the 20th lesson in our series. My name is Miss Spain, and I'm a second grade teacher in Tennessee schools. I'm so excited to be your teacher for this lesson. Welcome to my virtual classroom. If you didn't see our previous lesson, you can find it on the Tennessee Department of Education's website at www.tn.gov/education. You can still tune in to today's lesson if you haven't seen any of our others, but it might be more fun if you first go back and watch our other lessons since we will be talking about things we've learned previously. Today, we will be learning about adding three-digit numbers and regrouping tens and ones in mathematics. Before we get started, to participate fully in our lesson today, you will need 5 sheets of paper, a pencil, and something to write on. Now, let's begin. We have been adding three-digit numbers. I'm excited to continue our work. Before we begin, we need to draw 5 place value mats. So grab your paper and pencil and follow along. Go ahead and draw a large triangle like I have here. This time, we will need to divide the lines to have 3 spaces. Go ahead and sketch yours. Make sure that you label hundreds, tens, and ones. It's okay if you don't want to write the full word. You can just use an H, a T, and an O. Now go ahead and draw 4 more mats. Great job listening. In our last lesson, we learned how to bundle or trade in 10 rods for 100 flat. Do you remember what we call this process? That's right. Trading 10 tens for a 100 flat is called regrouping. Let's warm up with a problem that has numbers in the tens place that can be bundled or regrouped when we build our three-digit models. Are you ready? Me too. Let's go. I want you to go ahead and I want you to read this first problem with me. In his first bowling game, Jack scored 181 points. In his second game, he scored 152 points. How many total points did Jack score over the 2 games? So, boys and girls, what do we need to do first? Exactly, we need to make sense of the problem. We need to go back and make sure that we understand and highlight all the key information. So, in his first bowling game, Jack scored 181 points. In his second game, he scored 152 points. And the problem wants us to solve how many total points did Jack score over the 2 games. And this tells us that we will be adding. Now, to start off, let's start by modeling both numbers on one of your place value mats. You can do a quick sketch and go ahead and show me these numbers while I'm building the numbers as well on mine. So remember, you need to look at the text to see the key information. And it tells us that he scored 181 points. So our first number, 181, is made up of 100, 8 tens, and 1 1. Now our second number, 152, is made up of 100, 5 tens, and 2 ones. Now, let's compare our model. Does your model look like mine? Excellent job, boys and girls. Now, do you see anything or notice something? Yes, I see that we might need to regroup. Where do we need to regroup? Right, I think we're going to have to regroup the tens blocks. Let's count and see. I have 1, 2, and 3 ones. So I have a total of 3 ones. Great job. I can have 3 ones without having to regroup because 3 is less than 9. Now let's go to our tens place. Count with me. 1 10, 2 10, 3 tens, 4 tens, 5 tens, 6 tens, 7 tens, 8 tens, 9 tens, 10 tens, 11 tens, 12 tens, 13 tens. Oh my goodness. Can I have 13 tens or do I need to regroup? You're right. I cannot have 13 tens. 13 is greater than 9. So how do we regroup our 10 blocks? You do remember our last lesson, don't you? You're right. We need to bundle or trade a group of 10 tens for 100 flats. If we're going to regroup our tens, tell me what we do first. Excellent. We draw a circle around 10 of the tens. Let's do that now. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, this shows us the tens we will bundle, we will trade in for a 100 flat. Excellent. Does your chart match mine? Now, after we trade 10 rods for 100 flat, how many 10 rods do we have left? Right, we have 3. I'm going to write that number here. Good job. We had 13 10 rods, and we bundled 10 and traded 10 of them for a 100 flat, and it left us with 3 tens. 3 tens or 30 in our 30s in our tens place. Great job. So now I will move on and count my hundreds. Please count with me. I have 100, 200, 300. I have a total of 300s. So in order to find the total of points Jack scored over the 2 games of bowling, we will combine our hundreds, which I have 3. So now I need to go back and make sure that my numbers represent the values. So I have 300 plus 30 plus 3. So Jack scored a total of 333 points over 2 games of bowling. Wonderful job. Now, does yours look like mine? Excellent. Now, to make sure that we are doing this correctly, we can also use another kind of model of our equation. We have 181 plus 152. Correct? Very good. When we add our ones, 1 plus 2 gives us 3. So we have 3 ones. In our model, we also noticed that we needed to trade in. We traded in 10 tens for 100 flat and moved it to the hundreds place, leaving 3 tens because we have 13 tens. So we're going to do the same thing here. 13 in the tens place is made up of 10 tens or 100 and 3 tens or 30. We move the 100 to the hundreds place. And now we're left with 3. Now we can add our hundreds together just like our model and our tens. So Jack scored 333 points over 2 games of bowling. Wow, that's a lot. You're working very hard. Give yourself a big pat on the back. You did a great job reviewing how to add 3-digit numbers with regrouping tens. Today, we are going to have some real math fun. We are going to combine skills we learned in the last 2 lessons together in this lesson. So bring out those awesome math skills because here we go. Now, we have been using place value maths and drawings of base 10 blocks to model addition problems with 3-digit add-ins, where we either regroup the ones or tens. Do you remember that? I knew you would. Is it okay if I refresh our memory about regrouping just a little? Awesome, thanks. So 2 lessons ago, we learned to regroup in the ones place. Do you remember? I knew you would. So we are going to go ahead and look back at the beginning. So I have my place value mat, H for hundreds, excuse me, T for tens, and an O for ones. Now, do you remember that we bundled 10 ones and traded or regrouped them for 1 tens rods? It looked like this. How many ones do I have here? Exactly. I have 10. So we can trade these 10 in for 1 10 rod because we know that 10 ones equals 1 10 rod. Look how smart you are. And then in our last lesson, we learned how to regroup in the tens place. That was where we bundled 10 tens and traded or regrouped for what? That's right. When we bundle the 10 10 rods, we trade or regroup them for 100 flat. And it looked like this, boys and girls. I can circle these because there are 10 of them, and I move them to 100s place because now we have 100s flat. This means what, boys and girls? Yes, in order to regroup our tens, we need to make sure that we can bundle 10 tens and trade them for a 100 flat. Very good. To show bundling, remember we draw a circle and an arrow. And then it shows that our hundreds comes over to the hundreds place. You're doing a fantastic job. Thank you for reviewing regrouping ones and tens with me. You did fabulous. Now we're going to have some real fun. That's right. We're going to look at some problems that require us to regroup the ones and the tens. Are you ready? Okay, shake those hands out. Get your place value mat ready. And you're going to read along with me. Roger is a race car driver. Did you know that race car drivers put new tires on their cars several times during a race? In fact, Roger used 156 tires during last year's racing season. This year, he used 155 tires during the racing season. How many tires did Roger use over the 2 racing seasons? Man, that's a lot of tires. So what do we need to do first? Correct. We need to make sense of our problem and understand what it's asking us to do. So we see that he used 156 tires during last year's racing season. And this year he used 155 tires. Our question is asking us, how many tires did Roger use over the 2 racing seasons? So what does that tell us we're going to do? Exactly. It tells us we're going to add. So go ahead and get your chart ready. I have mine here. I'm going to fold it over to make sure that we're able to see everything that we need to see in our problem. Okay, boys and girls, I'm going to move it up a little bit as long as we see the numbers. That's what's important. So let's model both of the numbers on the place value mat. We're going to be modeling some big numbers today, so you need to start at the top of the place value mat so you have plenty of room in all the place value columns for your blocks. Okay, let's model. We know Roger used 156 tires last season, so let's model that first. I'm going to draw a 100 flat, and then I'm going to draw 5 10 rods, and then 6 ones. Excellent job. Would you like to add that to your map, please? Now, let's go back to the text for our next number. This racing season, Roger used a lot of tires, and he used 155 tires. So how am I going to model 155? Right, I'm going to use 100 flat, 5 10 rods, and 5 ones. Now, will you add that to your mat, please? So, I bet you've already guessed we will have to regroup our ones for this problem. You did? Well, you are right. Why do we have to regroup our ones for this problem? Yes, because we have more than 9 ones in our ones column, and that is why we have to regroup our ones. So let's combine our ones and let's see what happens next. So I'm going to count and combine my ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this shows me that I need to regroup. I have to regroup my ones because I cannot have 11 ones because 11 is greater than 9. To regroup, we will draw a circle around 10 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can you do that for me? Excellent. Next, I will draw an arrow pointing to the tens place to show that the 10 ones are now a new 10 rod. I traded in the 10 ones for one 10 rod. Once I've regrouped my ones and traded for a tens rod, how many ones do I have left? Excellent. I have one block left. Let's write 1 in the map like this. Go ahead and do that for me. Now let's combine our tens. Count with me. 1 10, 2 10, 3 tens, 4 tens, 5 tens, 6 tens, 7 tens, 8 tens, 9 tens, 10 tens, 11 tens. Oh my goodness. Now I told you we were going to have some real math fun today. Now what do we need to do? You got it. We're going to have to regroup our tens by trading 10 tens for one 100 flat. We're going to do it just like we did regrouping our ones. We're also going to model this similar to regrouping our ones. Watch me as I model regrouping tens on my paper. I will draw a circle around my 10 rods. Then I will draw an arrow representing that I've traded in my 10 rods for a 100 flat. Very good. Can you draw that with me? Now, let's see. Isn't it cool that we had to regroup our ones and our tens? Now, after we trade our 10 rods for a 100 flat, how many 10 rods do we have left? Right, we have just one 10 rods left. We had 11 10 rods. We traded 10 of them for a 100 flat, which left us with one 10 rod. And I'm going to write that here. Great job, boys and girls. Now, let's look at our hundreds. Count with me. 100, 200, 300. We have 300s. Let's show that on our mat as well. Now, how are we going to figure out the total number of tires Roger used? Yes, great idea. We combine the hundreds, the tens, and the ones. So I have 300 plus 10 plus 1, and that equals 311. Wow! So over 2 racing seasons, Roger used a total of 311 tires on his race car. Oh my goodness! So similar to our warm-up today, we can show the regrouping in our problem below. So take a look at this. Now, let's write it as an equation. Are you ready? So I know in the first season, he used 156 tires. And in the second season, he used 155 tires. Our model shows 300 plus 10 plus 1. When we combine the 5 ones and 6 ones, the answer is 11. In our model, we group the 10 ones into a 10 rod and moved it to the tens place. Here in our problem, we show the regrouping of 11 ones by moving one 10 to the tens place. also. Then we added the tens together. 5 tens plus 5 tens plus 1 10 is 11 tens. In our model, we grouped 10 tens, which is a 100 flat, and we moved it to the hundreds place. And we can do that here also in our equation model. So now I see that I have 5 tens, 5 tens, and 1 tens. And like we just said, we need to move one over. And that becomes 100. So now when we combined, we see that we have 300s. And so our answer again is 311 tires. That's a lot of tires over 2 seasons. You're doing a wonderful job. Why don't you act like you're driving a race car right now? Be careful, watch the curves. Oh my boys and girls. We figured out that Roger uses a lot of tires on his race car, and he has lots of fans that come to see his race every year. So to show how much he loves his fans, Roger wants to give a t-shirt with his race car number on it to all of his fans. I think that's really cool. So I want you to read this next problem with me. On a Friday night, 277 fans came to watch Roger's race car. At the race Saturday, 374 fans came to watch. How many t-shirts will Roger need in order to send one to all of the fans that come to watch him at the races? Okay, boys and girls, what do we need to do first? Exactly, we need to make sense of our problem. So on Friday night, he had 277 fans that came to watch him. And on Saturday, he had 374 fans that came to watch. So our question is asking us, how many t-shirts will Roger need in order to send one to all of the fans that came to watch him at the races? So what we're going to do first is that you need to go ahead and get a place value mat ready. And we are going to go ahead and model like we did earlier. Okay, so now let's model like we did earlier. So how many fans came to the race on Friday night? Great reading. 277 fans came to the race on Friday night. Now I'm going to model the number 277, and I want you to draw it on your paper as well. I'm going to draw 2 100 flats, 7 tens rods, and 7 ones. Now, did you do that with me? Excellent job. So how many people came to watch Roger next? Very good. You went back to the text and saw 374 came to watch him the next time. So I'm going to draw 3 100 flats, 7 10 rods, and 4 ones. Can you do that too, please? And then when you're done, I want you to hold up and let's compare our papers. Wonderful job, boys and girls. You're working so hard. Now, what can we do to find the total? Right, we can combine our 100s, 10s, and 1s. Let's look at the ones column and combine 7 ones and 4 ones. And if we do that, that equals 11. I know 11 is larger than 9, so what will I have to do? That's right, I will have to regroup my ones. When I regroup ones, I will bundle 10 ones and trade them for 1 10 rods. So I'm going to draw my circle around how many? Excellent. I'm going to draw my circle around 10 ones. And then I'm going to draw an arrow to show I'm trading in my 10 ones for 1 10 rod. Now I'm going to place my new 10 rod right here. So what will I do now? Yes, I'm going to go ahead and put 1 down here for 1 ones. That's all I have left. Now let's go on to the tens place. Now I combine and count my tens. Let's count together. 1 10, 2 tens, 3 tens, 4 tens, 5 tens, 6 tens, 7 tens, 8 tens, 9 tens, 10 tens, 11 tens, 12 tens, 13 tens, 14 tens, 15 tens. Whew! I mean, I feel some regrouping coming on. I don't know about you. We can't have 15 tens. I'm going to trade 10 of those 10 rods for a what? You are so smart. I'm going to trade 10 rods for a 100 flat. Do you remember how we model it? I knew you would. We are going to draw a circle around 10 of them. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to draw a circle, and then I'm going to use an arrow to indicate I am moving, I am trading the 10 rods to make a 100 flat. Now, how many 10 rods do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 left, so I'm going to indicate that here. Excellent job. Now we need to go over to the hundreds column. So let's go ahead and count our hundreds. Count with me. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. Now, what do I need to write down here? Very good, a 6 to show my 600s. Now let's go back to the text and remind ourselves what we wanted to know. Great reading. We needed to see how many t-shirts to give out to each of his fans. So I have 600 plus 50 plus 1. So we see the answer is 651. Excellent job. Now, I bet you know what we're going to do next. Do you? That's right, about to cross the finish line, and we're going to write a problem to match Roger's situation below my place value mat. So we know by looking at the text that 277 fans came. And the next time Roger had 374 fans come. So now let's model what we need to do here, and it will match our situation above. In my model, I had to add 7 ones plus 4 ones, as you can see here, and that equals 11 ones. I regrouped and traded a 10 ones for 1 10, and then I had to move it to the tens because I know 7 plus 4 is what? 11 tens. So I have 1 left over, and I'm going to move the 10 rod over here. That's just like the 10 and the 10 rod. Now I need to look at my tens place. 7 tens plus 7 tens plus 1 10. Oh my goodness, boys and girls, that's 15 tens. Remember, in our model, we traded in 10 tens for 100 flat, and we moved it to the hundreds place, leaving 5 tens in the column. So I have 5 tens left over because I moved the 100 flat to the 100s place. Excellent. Now we can add the hundreds. Just like in our model, 100 plus 200 plus 300 gives me 600s. Excellent job. So Roger, it seems like, is going to have to order a lot of shirts to send to his fans. Give yourself another pat on the back for doing a great job. I am so proud of you. You all have worked so hard today. We have been reviewing how we can bundle ones and make a 10 rod, and how we can bundle tens and make a 100 rod. You have done an excellent job of adding 3-digit plus 3-digit numbers, and your regrouping has been spot on. I am so, so proud of you. Now, boys and girls, I think that you are ready to do practice on your own. So great work, mathematicians. Today we solved 3-digit addition problems while regrouping ones and tens. You sure did a great job. After the video, you will have some problems to practice on your own. You can find the student practice sheet for this lesson posted on our website at www.tn.gov/education. Good luck and do your best on the sheet. So friends, I have enjoyed reviewing using base 10 models to solve adding problems with 3 digits and regrouping both ones and tens. Thank you for inviting me into your home. I look forward to seeing you in our next lesson in Tennessee's At Home Learning Series. Bye.